Good morning everybody and welcome to the next edition of the RDA Central West Business Leaders Breakfast Series. Fantastic to have you back joining us this morning, and I'm really excited that today we've got a very special guest joining us. We have Wayne Sunderland, the CEO of Central New South Wales Business HQ. Wayne, good morning.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have you here. And for those that are back from last week, in positive news, one, we've turned the camera around, and two, we've really upped our game with our production value, and we've got our makeshift set here. And if we keep this trajectory going, we're going to be doing live crosses by next week, so look out. But fantastic to have you all back, and I hope you got some great value out of our chat last week with the member for Orange. And I'm really excited because I think after our chat this morning with Wayne, we're going to be able to give you some really helpful insights into some of the support that is there for local businesses across the Central West and beyond. So Wayne, just before we kick off to getting into some of those programs that are delivered through Biz HQ, for those of our viewers that don't know yourself, give us a little bit of background about how you got into this role at Biz HQ, because you've got a fantastic story and I think that will help give people a bit better understanding.
Okay, so I was a local boy and I couldn't wait to leave Orange, which is one of those funny things. So I ran off and joined the Navy. Spent 9 years on patrol boats, worked in maritime headquarters in an operational phase, and then I went to East Timor on HMS Success there. So went to a war zone and actually saw East Timor be, how do I describe it? Get their own independence is probably the right sort of word there. And at that stage, we decided we didn't want to have a family in Sydney, so I gave my then fiancée Naomi a chance to go, where do you want to live in Australia? And we decided to come back to Orange. So after that, I joined the ATO for the introduction of the GST, which was a total change for a lot of businesses there. So to start off with, I was an advisor, teaching people how the GST worked, how pay-as-you-go worked, a lot of those sort of issues. And then I became an auditor. Didn't like that so much, seeing people on their worst day, but I got to see people's books there. I got to sort of see what the issues were with cash flow, how people made different decisions and what was the results of those. I was doing that during the global financial crisis, and we saw people who during that stopped advertising, and they were wondering why businesses weren't coming in to see them. So it was looking at all those issues and decisions that they had to make.
Absolutely. Really unique experience, I guess, coming from your Navy background, but good news for the region that you brought your expertise back to the Central West. And I guess it's probably a nice kind of segue is you said you were working for the ATO through the period of the GFC. That was probably the last time businesses in our region have been faced by a challenge of this nature. How does this impact of COVID-19 on local businesses, would you say, compare, and are there any similarities?
I reckon this is probably a lot harder. We had a lot of good businesses lose contracts straight away, and business owners had to make the hard decisions. It's going, can I keep staff on? Also, knowing that I'm going to lose staff, is there a way for me to be able to keep staff on? Maybe only work limited hours there. So there was a lot of hard decisions businesses had to make. And it was quite emotional for a lot of businesses because they were losing people who they had for 10 years, good people, and a lot of the owners didn't actually take home any wages themselves there, and it was really, everyone was in survival mode at that sort of stage there.
And look, just talking about supporting local business, I said it last week and I would say it again today, the most important thing we can do as a community right now, and Wayne, you probably tend to agree, is continue to shop and spend where we can locally across the region. We stopped in at the Sugar Mill Cafe this morning, got a couple of lovely coffees, so thank you very much Shannon and the team down there. If you need a lovely coffee today, drop in there and tell them Sam from RDA sent you. You might get a special deal or they might charge you double, I'm not sure. And we've also got a couple of delicious pastries from Racine. They were doing a roaring trade this morning, so let's keep supporting those local businesses. It's absolutely vital, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the lifeblood. Once we get to the end of this, we're going to have that sort of issue that we're going to lose some good businesses. And the reason that we're going to lose them is because we're not supporting them. So if we can support them during these tough times, they were supporting us during the good times. Our soccer teams, they were sponsoring them, the netball teams. So let's give back to the local businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very fair comment there, Wayne. And I guess you Central New South Wales Biz HQ, you've got a very large footprint. You've got a fantastic team of business advisors and digital advisors that are there to support the businesses across the Central West and beyond. I think you cover some 24 local governments across Western New South Wales. What kind of feedback are you hearing on the ground throughout the Central West about the ongoing impacts of COVID-19? What kind of insights have some of those businesses given you today?
So it's very interesting at this stage because businesses have had to pivot. We've got farmers now doing home deliveries there. We've got coffee shops which they've lost a lot of their staff. They're doing home deliveries, they're doing deliveries via the window. We've also got a lot of people going online. How do we work there? So my team, most of us were office based. Now we're working from home there. We've all had to embrace technology. So it's amazing what sort of some of those businesses are doing. We've even got businesses delivering stuff via drone, which is absolutely amazing. So it's really interesting to see how businesses are pivoting. Some are really, really doing it tough there. And it's really going, well, how can we help those businesses to get out to the other end, because this will finish. And the hard sort of thing is, what's the economy going to look like? What's business going to look like? Do we all need to be office-based, or what's the best way to run a business?
It's a fair comment, and I think what you mentioned there about online presence is absolutely vital right now, and I think that's probably a nice lead-in, because one of the key services that Biz HQ play to support local businesses is the digital advisory service that they provide. Can you give our viewers a little bit of a taste of what kind of support they can gain there through Biz HQ?
So through Biz HQ, we've got 2 dedicated digital advisors. So they can help you set up a very simple website, look at sort of technology, how to get a Facebook presence, how to sell on Facebook, a little bit of how to market about your business. Very important thing for businesses is to tell your story. Why do I want to use you? Tell me that you're local. Hey, this is the guy that I employ. Yeah, Billy down the street there. So that's a lot of sort of things. And also too, a little bit cyber security and doing things like that, making sure that you're doing things safely, transactions are safe, using contactless pay systems like Square and other sort of platforms like that. So they do the whole gamut, and basically the remit at the moment I've given our digital advisors is help these businesses get online, because the more businesses we can get online at the moment, the better.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think case in point is the success that stems from the Buy from the Bush campaign, and just making sure that businesses across the Central West have that online presence so they can capitalise. And right now, as you said, it's a competitive marketplace out there. There's a lot of online offerings, so making sure you have a tight narrative around why to support your business, the product, and the experience that you can provide is absolutely vital. So I think the services that are there provided by Biz HQ, we're going to put the link up to the Central New South Wales Biz HQ website after this. Fantastic group of advisors that Wayne has there helping, supporting him and supporting local businesses across our region. And one of the other programs that Biz HQ have been trusted to provide through the federal government is the NICE program. This is one that gets me pretty excited, and I think Wayne, you've said this is one that's had some really good wins across the region. Can you give the viewers a bit of an update about NICE and maybe one or two of the good news stories that have flowed from that?
Yeah, so the new enterprise incentive scheme is for the unemployed who are looking to sort of start a business. So we actually put them through a Certificate 3 in micro business operations. They develop a business plan. Also, they do financial projections. And after that, they get the equivalent of the New Start allowance, or they're changing all the names of all the allowances. Also, they have the option to stay on the JobKeeper allowance, and also during COVID they get the extra income because they may sort of need that. But yeah, had some great sort of businesses during the time there. One you've probably seen, a white van going around, Gringo Services, so it's a handyman doing lawn mowing and businesses like that. We've had some great success stories with cleaners there. It's a bit hard now for them with all this. However, I can sort of see once all this is over, you're going to have those sort of cleaners needed because, office spaces will need to be sort of disinfected. You'll have a lot of sort of work there. Also, we've got graphic designers. We've got people who are computer web designers. So there's lots of different things. We've got a few on hold at the moment because it's not the right time for them to start. But we've got a lot of interest as people look and go, once we get to the other side, we don't have a job now, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the good things for the viewers out there that might be interested in, it's probably 3 elements to NICE that I think I would have real value with. One, you have a training component, so applicants that get involved with NICE can do some certification, get some certificates. They also get mentoring through the staff of the expertise through BizHQ, and then on top of that you get the allowance that Wayne mentioned earlier. So it's a 3-pronged approach there that I think can really support taking those people that might have a great business idea, giving them the support structure around it to hopefully get it off the ground, which, a small business today or an idea today could be a business employing a couple of people down the track, and I reckon that's top shelf. So, Wayne, just as you mentioned earlier, you mentioned about your experience in the Navy, working at the ATO, but you've also got a suite of business advisors. I think some are former rural bankers, and I guess businesses are doing it tough right now, but how does that experience that your business advisors have, how do you think that supports your clients when they're going through tough times like this?
So we've got a really diverse team with lots of different skill sets there. So I've got Mark, who is an ex-business banker, so his expertise is dealing with banks. Also, what's the requirements? Looking at cash flow. I've got Lindsay, who used to own a very, very successful coffee shop in Bathurst, which he sort of sold there. But before that, he actually had a record shop. So his expertise is basically in that area, but also pivoting because, with the record shops, they died because of CDs and online, Apples. Mm-hmm. So he had to actually bring other elements into that business. I've got sort of Daniel, who's basically got a finance background, and he's helped run his family business for 10 years, and they're a courier service. I've got Anthony Doyle, who's had experience with marketing, architecture and all that, so and also I worked with Vinny, so there's a lot of different sort of things. And I've got Russell, who has a HR background, sort of dealing with apprentices and all that, so there's a whole gamut of people.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of fantastic points of entry, I guess, into the team there at BizHQ. Fantastic experience. And I'm really encouraging those businesses out there that might be looking for a bit of support right now, tap into these resources, because there are some fantastic resources here in our region that are here to help. And I think it's our requirement when times are tough. This is when we need to be drawn on to support the community. And as I said, that's why this morning it's fantastic we've got Wayne from BizHQ. But similarly, RDA Central West, that's what we're here for. We're here to support the community, keep you in touch with some of those key services that are out there, keep you in touch with some of those key grant opportunities that might be of interest to your business and your community. So don't hesitate to contact us, because now more than ever, I think we need to get around our community and support each other, because when times are tough, that's when I think we need to draw on each other and help get us all going in the right direction. But Wayne, another thing that I just wanted to draw on quickly is there's been a number of stimulus measures announced through both the state and federal government. From your perspective as BizHQ, which of those measures have been well received by the business community, and which of those you may not want to answer this, may or may not have hit the mark in your opinion?
I think the one which really will help business is the JobKeeper allowance. So I know my biggest problem with that is I wish it was earlier. We wish all these measures were earlier, but it does take sort of time there. But it does give those businesses the ability to keep good staff on. So that was probably the real main one for me.
And it passed the House of Reps last night, and I think it was off to the Senate. So that's good news. And $130 billion injection, I think, into the economy. And correct me if I'm wrong, those watching online, but I think it's the largest the single largest spend on a bill in Australian political history. So there you go.
And probably the one which may have missed its mark at the moment is the instant tax write-off for 150,000. If I had 150,000, it would be great. But the one sort of problem is a lot of small businesses, they're surviving week by week.
Yeah, I can probably reiterate that and agree with that. I think you're right. The cash flow for business has been well received from the feedback that we've got here at RDA, as has the payroll tax relief that's been announced by the state government. I think you're right. Instant asset write-off has a place, but maybe that's down the track because there's probably a few businesses right now that aren't looking to make that capital expenditure. They're just looking, as you said earlier, to keep that core staff employed and keep things ticking over. So look, and talking about getting an insight into how business is operating in these challenging times, that's a nice opportunity for me to give a plug for the RDA Central West Business Impact Survey. We've just released this one, Wayne, which I might ask you to circulate to your network as well. We're just trying to get some information on how businesses have been impacted to date from the evolving COVID situation. Good data helps make good decisions. It doesn't matter if you're running your own business at home or you're a medium enterprise or if you're government, and I think having good local information about how the situation is evolving here in the Central West will help RDA feed that into those key decision makers on all levels of government, because I think having good information and good data about how we can kind of rebuild out of this phase and get back on our feet as quick as possible will be absolutely vital. So that link will be up on our Facebook page after this chat, and I'm encouraging all those businesses out there. It should only take you 5 minutes, please. Fill that one in, will be greatly appreciated. But Wayne, just want to kind of, before we kind of change tack a little bit, just wanted to put one plug in for, you said you've got your business advisors. One of them is based at the Upstairs Hub in Bathurst.
Yeah.
Give our viewers a little bit of an update on that relationship, because Upstairs Hub, absolutely fantastic. Jared and the team down there do some great stuff. Yeah. But I guess having the expertise of BizHQ embedded in Upstairs probably has some real benefits as well. Yeah, so
essentially we saw there was an opportunity with a lot of sort of startups and people looking at new uses of technology and ways to do things, that sometimes they might need a mentor there. So that's why I based Lindsay up there, just to go through a lot of the issues there with them. And sometimes it's that sounding board without someone trying to sell you something, to go, okay, well, have you looked at this? What are the options there? Okay, yep, that's great. You're doing all this stuff on social media. Is it converting to sales? How are you measuring what you're doing? So yeah, especially things like surveys and all that. What's the return? So yeah, there's really some exciting things Lindsay's been dealing with upstairs.
Yeah, and I think what we've mentioned earlier is it's the expertise of the advisors that you have at BizHQ. They've navigated their own path through establishing and running successful businesses. Yeah. Some of them may have also had their own challenges, and I think that experience helps give that support to those businesses. Another thing that we might mention is a lot of the services that are available through BizHQ are actually heavily subsidised, or some of them are even free, I believe.
They're free at the moment for all businesses, because we know businesses are doing it tough there. We prefer people to come talk to us as opposed to not talking. We're all in this together. And yeah, at the end of the time, I want to see as many businesses survive as possible, and that's the big sort of thing. I get a thrill walking down the main street to go, okay, we've helped that, we've helped that, we've helped that. Some of my earliest clients are some of the most successful.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's fantastic that those services, Wayne, are free right now, because as you said, some businesses are doing it very tough, and if we can just help give them that support structure around them right now, that could be the difference between them keeping the doors open and navigating their way through this challenging time. So I think that's fantastic. So as I said, check out the BizHQ website. We'll put all the information up after this chat, but we're going to change pace a little bit. I threw this section in last week and got some good feedback, so it's going to become a regular segment. I'm going to run you through Fast 5 because we've learnt a little bit more about yourself, Wayne. We've learnt a little bit more about the services provided by BizHQ, but I wanted to just dig a little deeper, find out a little bit more about what makes you tick. Quickly, what's your favourite place to eat in Orange?
Oh,
These are loaded questions, because I know you've probably helped a lot of businesses around town.
There are so many good places. Probably my favourite is Sweet Sour Salt there, but I enjoy Thai, I enjoy the Japanese. We've got Lolly Ridini's. We've got out at Millthorpe a number of sort of great sort of places to eat. We've also got Zona. It's like, how do you choose a favourite? And that's the best sort of thing.
A very
There's so much
diplomatic
variety.
answer. Very
There's so much
diplomatic
variety.
answer. Well played. No, look, it's as you said, a lot of great places to eat, but our go-to on a Friday is getting Thai from the Canopolis Hotel. Get a cheeky takeaway, a bit of Thai, nice way to end the week. But you're right, we've got such a suite of awesome places to eat and dine. Some of them are adapting, and there's a lot of them doing takeaway right now, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep out there if you've got a chance heading into the long weekend. Maybe spend a few dollars if you can to support a local business will be fantastic. I'm a big sports person, love my sport. What's your favourite sporting code and team?
Okay, I'm a soccer tragic, and my last name's Sunderland, so I actually support Sunderland. So if you've got some spare time, go onto Netflix, look at Sunderland Till I Die. You can sort of see a Premier League team who got relegated and got relegated again. So we're League One now, and yeah, we're hoping to make it up to the Championship again. But yeah. Also, a big plug for Sims Green under 13s there. Their season probably won't go ahead the way things are going, but yeah, it's great to sort of see a lot of the local sort of kids running around.
Well, I was a big Leeds United fan back in the day when they had Kuhl and Viduka just dominating there in the early 2000s. But I'm actually a big AFL fan.
Yeah.
I'm from WA originally, and a big GWS Giants fan. So that's the amount of times Jemima, my wife, has seen me watching footy games on my phone because she wants to watch something on the TV. But anyway, favourite band or album?
Ooh, see, I'm an 80s child, so I grew up with the Choir Boys there. So I was a bit of a rock sort of person there. So I was been lucky enough to see them live a number of times, including when they came to Orange, where they were up at the old Standard there. So interesting sort of times there.
Okay, I'm a big Powderfinger fan.
Yep.
Probably Vulture Street for those playing along at home. Probably one of Powderfinger's best albums and one of my favourites, but also Blink-182. Just I could go through a massive long list, but there you go. Oddest business idea that's come through the doors at Biz HQ, because I'm sure there's some very well-intentioned people out there that probably think they've got the next business idea that's going to make them $1 million.
There's a few odd ones, and there's a few absolutely brilliant ones. We've had sort of guys looking to grow hemp. You get the medical marijuanas and things like that. You've got people who are looking at sort of certain tablets to stimulate people's brains there. We've got sort of ones who are looking to different hydroponic sort of applications there, but yeah, they need a lot of finance. It varies there. What's odd today is standard tomorrow. So yeah, it's amazing what people are doing with drones. Basically, when drones first came out, I thought, it's just for kids to play with, but they're doing photography, they're using it for farm applications, they're using it for mining to work out sort of...
delivering spilt milk?
Spilt milk, yeah. They made national TV there, so it's thinking outside the square, and that's a big thing.
The scary thing is, I think iPhones only came out in like 2008 or something.
Yeah.
So they haven't been around a long time, and look at the transition or the change that's made in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
So who knows where we'll be in another 5 or 10 years. So you're absolutely right. The Central West, it's a beautiful place to live. I'm a relatively new resident to the Central West, and it brought you back after your journeys with your previous experiences. Doesn't matter where you go, there's fantastic places to visit and stop. A hidden gem of the Central West, in your opinion?
I think it's a nice little drive to Dubbo through Yeovil and looking at all the sort of statues and sculptures that they've done there. So that's a great sort of thing to keep kids entertained. I know we can't travel now, but later on, yeah, it's worthwhile just having a look at all those. I know Blaney were doing things with hay bales. It was great around Christmas. There's some great walking trails. There's some great things with nature there. If you can get out and sort of look around.
So this is the Animals on Bikes on the back route into Dubbo as you head towards the Dubbo Zoo. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Probably not the time to be going for long scenic drives, but fantastic opportunity there, and one that we can really plug to support our region. Mine is, it's a cafe, it's in Eugowra, it's called the Gentle Cow Cafe, and Michael is this legend of a local legend, I think, up at Eugowra. But if you're ever on your way out through town there and you need to stop and grab a coffee, I recommend it. And I know it's good because a couple of times I've stopped in there, the local Cabon Shire staff have stopped in to be getting their bacon and egg rolls, and I think that speaks volumes, that if that's where the locals go to get their bacon and egg rolls, you know it's good.
And all the truckies stop there too, so yeah, the truckies, they want good food, so.
And Eugowra, it's a beautiful little town in the central west, fantastic bushranger history there, so if you ever get a chance, I really recommend stopping in, learning a little bit more about Ben Hall, learning a little bit more about bushranger history, because I think it's another dimension to our region.
Yeah.
Look, just before we finish up, Wayne, there's been a number of business capacity workshops and webinars that BizHQ have been running recently. How have those been going, and can you give our viewers a bit of an update of what's coming through the pipeline in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so they've been going gangbusters. We really wanted a local focus, so what we've been doing is we've done ones on banking, so we've actually had a local banker in talking about the situations, what they're looking for. So we're trying to bring experts in. A couple of days ago, we had one on mental health because that was a big issue, because businesses are making big decisions and they're losing staff there. So, and sometimes we forget to sort of ask the businesses themselves, are you okay? Things that we've got coming up there is unpacking the stimulus package there. So once that's passed legislation, we'll actually have one of the accounting firms coming in with us, going through bit by bit, what does it mean for businesses there? So we're looking for practical sort of things that businesses can use. We've just done one last night on Zoom. We're doing one on building a Shopify website, so businesses can look at options to get online. So a lot of our events are posted on our Facebook page, Central New South Wales Business HQ. If you look at that, there's a whole list of events there, and you can sort of sign up. So yeah, we're getting 40 to 50 people coming to those.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and at the end we have a bit of a question and answer, because it's great hearing people talk there, but sometimes it's going, well, what's the practicality? So a lot of that question and answering.
Yeah, perfect. And we'll put a link up on the RDA Facebook page later today with the list of those events that are coming up. And it's a nice opportunity for RDA to plug that we've got a digital marketing workshop happening on the 29th of April over 2 consecutive Thursdays and then on May the 6th. So keep an eye out for that if you want to build that online presence. Will be fantastic. But Wayne, just before we finish, if local businesses or viewers this morning are keen to engage with BizHQ, what's the easiest way to touch base with yourself or your staff?
Basically, you can go through the website. Where there's a contact us, or 63620448. Our receptionist is based at home. The phones are all directed there, and she'll find out where you're from, what are the issues, and she'll put you in contact with the right business advisor to help you. Yeah,
fantastic. And as I said earlier, 24 local governments across Western New South Wales BizHQ are here to service, not just the Central West but beyond. So fantastic resource for our region to tap into. But look, Wayne, thank you very much for taking the time to come in and have a chat this morning. We're heading into Easter this weekend, and I'm just wishing everybody a very happy and safe Easter. Probably this Easter is going to be a lot tougher for a lot of people than previous Easters, and I'm just encouraging everyone, if you've got a chance, to make sure you stay connected and communicating with family and friends. Now more than ever is important to stay on the phone, and if you do have or you have aged or vulnerable family or friends, I think now is probably more important than ever to make that call, say good day, touch base, and make sure they're going okay, because it's been a tough time for people, and I think now more than ever it's a chance to support each other in the community. Look, that's where we ended, and I believe the Easter Bunny dropped in, Wayne, and said they've been really impressed with the work of BizHQ this year, and just wanted me to pass on that to you. But look, that's where we're going to end it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you got some value out of our chat here with Wayne from BizHQ. And tune in, similar time next week, we'll be having a chat with the federal member for Calare, Andrew G, and really looking forward to that one. So have a fantastic day, have a safe and enjoyable Easter, and we'll see you next time.
Support local.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.